Malenie Martinez. Oh yeah, let's go.
Speaking out against my abuser ruined my life. I believed that as long as I told the truth, things would turn out all right. I was very wrong.
I've been listening to Malenie Martinez since I was about 13 or 14. But do you want to know who else I listen to? Victims.
This is Malenie Martinez, and
Okay,
this
hold up,
situation is insane. This is a trigger warning for anyone uncomfortable about discussions of SA. If you
Make sure listen to the trigger warning if you're sensitive about this subject.
listen to some form of pop music, then you've undoubtedly heard of the name Malenie Martinez. She's a very popular artist slash songwriter who got her claim to fame by being featured on the singing show called The Voice.
The Voice. That used to be really good back in the day. I'm not sure if it's any good anymore, but it used to be really, really good. Man, those teeth.
Since then, she has amassed millions of followers on all platforms and billions of views on her music projects. So it's suffice to say she's very popular. However, recently some serious allegations of Malenie have resurfaced and she's been ignoring them.
I'm calling for Malenie Martinez to acknowledge her lack of accountability when it comes to her fan base, as well as properly handling her sexual assault allegations.
What?
What indeed? My first reaction was what, and then he put the meme up, and I was like, oh yeah, that was real correct.
What did he say? What?
Yeah, it gets pretty crazy. These SA allegations actually originate from 7 years ago when her ex-best friend Timothy Heller first came out about it. In 2017, Timothy would make a vague tweet stating, "What if I have my own story of abuse, but most people probably wouldn't believe me?" And this vague tweet was definitely about Malenie because a few weeks after that, she made another tweet, but this time naming Malenie. In this second tweet, Timothy goes into detail about,
When I wrote this story about my assault, I initially wasn't going to make it about the abuser. But I think it's important for you all to know that this is about Malenie Martinez.
what happened. She recounts the events of her and Malenie having a sleepover, and then for some reason Malenie being interested in having sex with her.
What?
It's also important to note that at the time, Timothy also had a boyfriend and Malenie knew about that. But according to
Most cheaters know about the other person's partner or spouse. And in this particular case, it wouldn't be any different. The only difference is that this is two women. And, I mean, it happens a lot too, but it's because it's two women, I guess.
Malenie, he doesn't have to know, and it's not a big deal. Which, in my opinion, is crazy work trying to get your friend to sleep with you to cheat on her boyfriend.
Well,
like that's wild.
That sounds like any man trying to make, like, he don't need to know, man. Oh yeah, boy, girl. Yo, your boyfriend don't need to know. We're gonna do it together. We're gonna do it just fine, you know, baby girl.
But obviously Timothy declined the offer, but that didn't stop Malenie. In fact, according to Timothy, Malenie kept asking and begging after she was told no repeatedly over the course of 2 days. It was basically a cycle. Timothy would resist, saying things like, "She has work in the morning," or "My boyfriend would be upset." And then Malenie would say things like, "It'll be okay," and "It'll be fun." And for some reason, when people say that, it's almost never okay and never fun.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog.
He's right. Man. He's right.
Eventually, Timothy just got tired of fighting with her, and even though she never said yes, Malenie then proceeded to have intercourse with her. And if what Timothy said is true, I honestly feel really bad for her, and hopefully she was able to get the help that she needed. After this post by Timothy went public, there was obvious backlash toward her, because during this time, Malenie was somewhat popular and she had tons of fans, while Timothy was practically a nobody. And obviously when you accuse people's favorite artists of misconduct to that degree, people typically won't believe you without proof.
How did she assault her? Did she go down on her? Did she make her go down on her? Did she use a strap on? Like, I'm having questions. I'm not saying anything here is like, I'm not saying I don't believe anybody. I'm just having questions. I'm having
12 hours later, Malenie had finally responded, but not in the way we thought. Of course, Malenie started off with the "I am horrified and sad."
I am horrified and saddened by the statements and stories told tonight by Timothy Heller. What she said and I shared was a close friendship for a period of time. We came into each other's lives as we were both starting our careers as artists, and we tried to help each other out.
And etc. But the one thing that stuck out was
we both had pain in dealing with our individual demons and the new paths we were forging. But I truly felt that we were trying to lift each other up
Melanie saying she never said no, which directly refutes Timothy's claim of saying she had said no repeatedly over the course of 2 days. So now it's a situation where somebody's lying and people don't know who to believe. And with Melanie being the one with the popularity and influence, of course her fans are going to believe her.
Yeah, it's kind of like a tiny pool of water versus the ocean. Almost every single time the ocean will just... And it doesn't matter how right the little tiny pool of water was, because there are too many people that will bulldoze and force. Sometimes it goes well, most of the times it doesn't.
But some fans didn't just stop there. In fact, some went out of their way to harass Timothy and even make a fake Instagram story, making it seem like Timothy was obsessed with Melanie and that's why she came out. But just because they're a fan doesn't mean they have a brain, and they kind of messed up the fake story.
Shut up, bitch.
Did I mention somebody else also came out and said they experienced?
Also, something similar not happened with me and Mel. She begged me over and over again to sleep with her, and I finally gave in. She wore me down. I said yes, but it was not the same with Timothy. I will support Timothy Heller till the end. Heart, heart, heart.
Melanie begging for sex, but unlike Timothy, she actually said yes, which is why she believes that Timothy was telling the truth. That's a little awkward, but anyways, after all these allegations, Timothy was practically run off from the internet. Melanie's fans didn't believe her, and they really didn't care anymore because she makes fire music.
Well, that's another problem. The Dr. Disrespect situation is a very good example. It doesn't matter what he's done, because in the end he makes entertaining content. And I'm not saying for me that it doesn't matter. I'm saying for people it doesn't matter. Because he's going to come back and he's going to stream and he's going to make people laugh and he's going to make people have a great time. And they're going to forget all about the situation he's been in. And I'm not going to talk about the situation in great depth because there will be another video on that. But the fact is that if you're a fan of somebody, you tend to ignore a lot of things as long as they're making good stuff, good content, good music, good videos, good films.
You know, I dislike sexual assault as much as the next guy. That's some bad stuff. Boo, don't like it.
In the years following, Melanie also didn't comment on the situation anymore. She just said Timothy was lying, and with no pressure from her fan base to answer any other allegations, that was honestly the end of it. All until about 3 weeks ago, until Timothy came back after years of silence and posted a TikTok.
Speaking out against my abuser ruined my life, and I'd like to talk to you about it. Whether you know who I am or not, I ask you to please listen to my story.
I will listen to your story.
If you do recognize me, then you haven't heard from me in a couple of years. And that's because I was effectively run off the internet. You also may have heard that I admitted to lying or that it was proven that I lied. Neither are true.
In this TikTok, she goes on to describe what happened 7 years ago and how...
I have a little bit of a problem with her keeping going over to Melanie's place if Melanie is doing the same thing, constantly pushing for sexual actions. And then she keeps going back to the friend's place and she keeps going there. It's not smart, to say the least. It really isn't. It's everything you shouldn't do. If somebody's dangerous, you don't walk into the lion's den again and again and again and again.
How one interview she did about the situation turned her into a liar in the eyes of the Melanie fan base.
Yes, I made the mistake of doing an interview with Daily Mail. While being interviewed, they asked for more specific details, like when the incident took place. It'd been around 2 years prior, so I didn't remember the exact date. What I did remember was a picture I took the next day. I went back in my camera roll, found the picture, and told them the day of the incident was the day before. Unfortunately, I was wrong. The picture in my camera roll appeared multiple times. I can't explain why.
So basically, Timothy did an interview about this.
Could be that somebody had sent it, or if she had sent Melanie that and Melanie had sent that back on WhatsApp or something, and then that would be a different... you'll get like almost screenshots of it like being downloaded on WhatsApp. That happens. I'm not saying this particular scenario. I'm just saying it could have been something like that.
Situation, and the interviewer asked when it happened. Timothy then accidentally said the wrong date, and Melanie's fan base went and checked their timelines and saw that the dates didn't match up. They then called her a liar, and basically that one mistake in their eyes disproved her entire case. Now, in Melanie's defense, with allegations this serious, Timothy should not be getting dates wrong. Now, I know accidents happen.
I agree with this. Not necessarily that you don't have to have the specific date in mind, but you can get like the year and the month wrong to some degree. Because it's like, let's say it happened on December the 1st. And you know how grave these consequences can be for somebody's career or something. and you're saying, oh yeah, it must have been in January. It's not that bad. Like, it was around January or December. I can't quite remember. Like, I can find a specific date. Maybe you'll get away with that, but like, as I said, it does make a big difference if you get it wrong like that.
But these are life-ending allegations, so she should not be getting this stuff wrong.
Exactly.
After this
what I'm
discovery,
saying.
she released a second statement in which she thanks her fans for researching the timeline and analyzing past Instagram posts which reveal my false statements. Unfortunately, this was enough for 99% of her fans to take what she said as truth and deem me a liar. Anything I attempted to do was infected with this story. Googling me results in many first-page results calling me a liar. The people who hated me took it upon themselves to ruin every opportunity for me. Partnerships with brands.
I don't know what to say. I don't like it that it's a pre-written thing and she just doesn't even look into the camera. Like, it feels very... I don't know. It feels... I don't know what to say, honestly. There's something about it, like, I've spoken to a lot of people that has had a bad past, let's say. However you want to take that, it's from A to Z. Like, there's a lot of bad pasts out there. And I've never really seen them, in a sense, in a pre-written mode. But they do jumble a lot often. So the conversation might be like, and they're trying not to like cry, or they're trying not to relive the memories. And it feels very rehearsed here. And I'm not saying she's wrong. Stop it, people. That's not what I'm saying. I'm giving you my opinion.
Modeling opportunities. They were all flooded with comments saying I lied about SA. In addition to this, my home address, phone number, and family's phone numbers were all leaked.
Trying to ruin somebody's life based on allegations they made that weren't even proven false are crazy. It's not even like Melanie 100%. Pulled up any type of proof of these allegations being false. The only thing she said was she didn't say no. Well, Melanie, did she say yes? I'm confused. Like, that's not even a defense. And the toxic fans just make this situation 10 times worse because they just go out of their way to go overboard because Melanie makes good music. Like yep. That's it. Now, since this TikTok has come out, it seems maybe some of Melanie's fans have grown up a bit in the 7 years since this originally happened. Because
holy shit, 7 years ago, she was traced off the internet, pushed out like an outcast from some sort of medieval peasant, from some sort of movie with a medieval peasant with the pox. She was absolutely defamed for 7 years. And if the fan base now just goes, hey, yo, we've been mean to you for 7 years and you were actually right. Let's see.
Comment section seems to be overwhelmingly positive now, with comments like, have been a Melanie fan for a long time, but listening to this has made me rethink everything. Thank you for speaking out. Really? I cannot imagine the strength it takes.
Isn't that a little bit more of an idea of the times? Because it's past Me Too movement, and like 7 years ago was before the Me Too movement, I'm fairly sure. If I'm wrong, please tell me if I'm wrong in the comment section below. But I'm sure that the times now are hyper liberal, and anything you say, like, you have to believe all victims and all that thing, because, you know, people don't lie at all. And I mean, people haven't been falsely imprisoned for no reason, but you're going to have to believe everybody. So now when she comes out in this era 7 years later, it's very likely to be taken more on her side.
And look, like I said before, I'm not even saying Melanie's guilty. Timothy could be lying, but when you look at it for what it's worth, the only defense Melanie has had against these allegations is she didn't say no. Like, that's literally it.
It ain't me.
This is true.
Ain't me.
She used the sentence, she never said no to what we chose to do together.
Even when I go to Melanie's Instagram comment section now, the only thing I see on her latest posts are people asking her to respond to these allegations. Because it's crazy that her fans in the 7 years since these allegations started never really pressured her about any info. They just took her word as gospel and ruined Timothy's life. In my opinion, I definitely think whatever happened between those two that night definitely started with Melanie pressuring her. And
yes, I do agree with that. I think from what she said, she's definitely been pressured to it. But like the other woman said, she in the end caved and said yes. It could have been the same with Timothy.
into doing something. I'm not saying Malenie did it with malice intent. I just think she knowingly or unknowingly pressured Timothy into having sex with her. But then again, that's just my opinion, so take it with a grain of salt.
I don't disagree.
I'll make sure to leave a link of the Reddit down below with all the necessary info in it so you can actually view the archived tweets and make your own opinion. I think I'm going to end the video here. Hopefully we hear a response from Malenie in the near future so we can end this whole 7-year-long situation. I want to thank you guys for all the support. We're really growing at a crazy rate, and we just got the verification check, so we're literally official. I will be making a website soon for the hoodie, so stay tuned for that. And if you guys liked the video and enjoyed, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.
That was a really interesting video. If you thought this was interesting, pop a like and subscribe to my channel here, and you will see a lot more of this in the future. See you later. Bye bye.